And this is actually probably one of the best kept secrets. Everything that you want, it makes all the good noises. And Mercedes still doing it. And I could listen to that noise all day long. Hey y'all, and welcome back to DC MotorWerks. My name is Cameron, and today I have brought you an SLK55. This is from the 171 generation, and this is actually probably one of the best kept secrets in the Mercedes AMG world, or whatever you want to call it, sports car world, because these are just an absolute pocket rocket. We're gonna go drive it in a minute and show you just why I like this so much. But it is a baby SLR, you know, the small hardtop convertible sports car from Mercedes-Benz. It's been massaged a little in the front, but we'll focus more on this side. But it's still got the full AMG treatment, 360 odd horsepower V8, and this is actually the only 5.4 liter 113 to get a 7-speed or a 722.9 transmission. And I've always kind of lamented at the 5-speed old transmission with this engine. It's great in the supercharged cars and stuff because they have so much power, but the extra gears of the 7-speed really wake this car up. And again, we're gonna show you that in a moment. The multi-spoke wheels, I think it is a gorgeous looking car, very aggressive, yet very understated. You still kind of have to look at it twice to know what it is, and just look at the size of it. It's the Mercedes Miata, we're gonna call it. And they even smoked out the tail lights from the factory. You've got, because of the wider tires in the back, you get the little, I guess we'll call it sling guard or something back there. Just all the subtle stuff. And it has, of course, quad exhaust, so still full AMG treatment. But you get the small, tight little car with the big engine that really makes this super exciting. And this one we've massaged a little bit. It is a client we've had for a number of years. So it's got some exhaust work, and it also has Bilstein Sport suspension in it. So more than what the factory gave it. It is the Bilstein, I think it's B6 if I remember right, but the Bilstein yellow shocks front and rear, which at the time we did it were actually really hard to find. Most of them were on back order, especially the rear, but nevertheless, I found a set, and it really tightens up the handling of this car and really makes it all that it should be. And this being the hardtop convertible from this kind of time period, one of the early air scarf adapters. So they've got the fans in the headrest that have a heater grid to blow warm air on you so you can drive with the top down in cooler weather. Of course, it is a hard top, so no soft top to worry about. And these have actually been pretty reliable tops for us in these 171 generation cars. And huge improvement in the interior quality from the first generation SLK, the 170. And you even get the suede inserts on the seats, the nicer like Napa soft grain leather. So it really is everything that you want, but in a small, tight little car. And of course, here you got the baby SLR front end, which I think looks really good. And there you get the M113, and this is a late model 113. So they made a few little changes to the 5.4 in these late models, and they were rated around 362 horsepower. So a little bit more than the early 342, 349. It is funny, on the SLK to make this fit, it specifically has its own oil filter and oil filter cap because the height of the original one does not clear the hood. So the engine was so big, they actually had to change that. So it has its own bespoke oil filter and oil filter cap, which is kind of funny. But that's just how dedicated, I guess, AMG was to this, that they created its own parts for it. And there's a lot of other just AMG only specific parts to this. Kind of reminds me a lot of the 500Es, where it was, you know, a 124 that, just like an SLK, that shares many other models in its platform range, but these got really bespoke parts, and it was really like a dedicated car, even though it shared a lot with the other cars. You can see it is packed in there, 5.4 liters, 360 horsepower in this, I don't know what it weighs. We can put that up on screen, but just tight little car. Let's go ahead and have you take a listen to how it sounds, and then we'll go for a ride. So this one has a resonator delete, and I don't like to mess with the mufflers on Mercedes or AMGs because then they just get obnoxious. The factory mufflers really are that good, and we're going to show you. Too bad it's already warmed up because the cold start is just, I think I've actually got a video from maybe a year or two ago that we can maybe throw up because it makes all the good noises. so good. But at idle and cruising, it's still so tame. So let's get this thing on the road. Jump on in. All right, so here we are driving the SLK55. And you can immediately tell just how driver focused this is. It is just a tight, small little cockpit, and everything is about driving. And you can immediately tell just in how the suspension feels and everything. It's not jarring, but it is nice and taut. And of course, we have to have the top down for this. That is the proper way to have it, because the noise, anything that sounds good needs the top to come off. And this getting the AMG treatment, you get the manual mode in the transmission. And while not the most responsive thing out there, it does put off some pretty good shifts. It is on the wish list to put a manual, one of our manual conversions in this, and it will really complete this car. But still, very positive shifts out of the 7-speed auto. All right, here we'll put it into standard. Because the first 3 gears in this are so short, they go off so quick that you can't shift it with the paddles. So we'll put it in regular automatic mode, and we'll show y'all what this thing will do. Because we got the perfect opportunity here with a red light. Nice gentle start. Ooh, and the off throttle. Oh, that's so good. We're gonna have to do that again because it short shifted into second. But if you do nail this from a stop, it turns the rear tires into smoke. Still tons of torque and nearly a 6,500 RPM red line out of a V8. It just, you're just waiting for it to shift and it just keeps pulling and pulling. And then of course, this has a nice tight steering. You know, the small cars of this generation from Mercedes, the C-Class and the SLK, the CLK, had such good steering feel, especially on center. You know, it's not super heavy, but it has a nice weight. And while not being super darty, you know, it does immediately respond. You just hear those downshifts. Hopefully the mic's picking up good audio from that, because it is so darn good. Let's try it again. Just doesn't stop. Oh, but still is planted, even this being a short wheelbase car. The rear end feels nice and planted. We can get some burbles on the off throttle. It's got the big brakes, the brake pedal feels great. Driving position is right where you want it to be. Once you get about my height, a little over 6 foot, 6'1", you kind of got to compromise a little bit, but so worth it. Even way back in the 20s and 30s, the answer has been big engine, small car. And Mercedes still doing it up until, they did a V8 SLK up until 2015-ish, if I remember right. And those are actually extremely hard to find. I don't know the production numbers on this one exactly, but you don't hardly ever see them. They really were I don't know that Mercedes intended to, but a well-kept secret and just kind of under the radar AMG. But honestly, one of the greats. So they did the V8 SLK in 2 generations, the 171 and then the earlier 172s. And that actually got a bespoke engine for itself, because those got a variant of the 278/157 bi-turbo motor, but without turbos. If I remember right, the engine code is 152. But yeah, it's a naturally aspirated, I think it's 414 horsepower variant of that motor, and only in that car. So Mercedes really thought they were doing something, or AMG, with the SLK chassis. I'm in favor, I support it. And also, none of the crazy acronyms from an SL to brake. No ABC, there's no active suspension of any kind. At the roof, but again, they've been pretty reliable over the years for us. And look at that, tight little turning radius, tiny little car. It has factory mufflers. makes that noise. Just nice through the corner. You know, just enough body motion to know that you're in a corner, but nice and tight. And steering that is direct but not twitchy. Never liked when, you know, the steering ratio is so tight that just any movement makes the car twitch around the road. You can really place this where you want it to go. And I could listen to that noise all day long. I actually did it this morning. I had the air scarf going and heated seats. This is why we love the small car AMGs at DC MotorWerks. All the upside, but really no downside. Let's give it one more. We have to. Is holding the gear, just waiting for you to nail the skinny pedal again. You know, what's left of my hair isn't really getting beat up too bad. Mercedes does a good job of designing their convertibles. Might have to find one of these. The only thing that'll make it better is an extra pedal. We all need cars that make us smile in that way, without having to worry about anything going wrong. No rod bearings, no Vanos, no ABC, no SBC, and all this for, I think they go for like, nice ones go for like 15 grand. What a bargain, what a deal. With one of the most reliable powertrains in all of existence. So there you go, the under-the-radar AMG, the SLK55. Whether you get a 171 or a 172, only 2 generations of V8 SLKs. So if you guys are looking for a Mercedes sports car, just any sports car with a convertible, don't bypass the SLK55. Make sure you find a nice one and send it to us for a manual conversion, because I think that's the only thing that will make this any better. But remember, if you like what you see here, please like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. We really do appreciate it and love sharing all the fun cars here with y'all. And we look forward to seeing y'all on the next video.